All right, it's time to do a quick tier list for the LMGs. A lot of people do tier lists where you're looking at every gun across every category. What I want to do is try to just focus our gameplay a little bit and thinking about our tier list relative to gameplay style. So the first thing you have to think about is there's like, I don't know, almost 50 guns in the game. From a development standpoint, it would be silly for the developers to build like one or two guns that are just way better than every other gun in every other situation, because then all the development time to tweak and maintain the values for all these other guns is sort of like wasted on, because the community will figure out, oh, just use these two guns and just win everything, right? So what you have to understand about the guns is that guns are situational. There are some guns that do some things better, there are other guns that do other things better. So it very much is going to depend on your play style, the type of map you're on. Are you playing Conquest? Are you doing a team deathmatch? Are you in Battle Royale? And so you'll have to have that kind of as the backdrop. So what I'm going to start with is from a Conquest standpoint, where there are objectives, where you're going to be like attacking and defending objectives. There's like a good ebb and a flow to it. We're going to keep Battle Royale out of the picture because it's a very different kind of a play mode. You could probably even put in Breakthrough into this same sort of tiered weapon list, right? So I think everybody is in agreement at a community level, the DRS. If your play style is aggressive and you're diving into objectives, you're fighting up close, all that sort of stuff, the DRS, I think I would agree with them. It is definitely the S tier weapon. It shoots very straight. It's got a pretty good damage model at 25, great rate of fire, etc. You can put in all kinds of great attachments to make this gun really shine. And so I would definitely agree with the community at large. It is definitely an S tier weapon, provided that your play style is such that you're diving into all of these objectives. Okay? So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the M250. When we drop out of that S tier and you think about LMGs that are good for certain things. So for example, the M250, you can even see it up on your screen, like the developers try to give you some keys to work with. It is meant to be a long range. Shoots really straight, got great scopes, etc. We use this word bloom to talk about like how wide the dispersion of bullets is the further you get out of it, further you get away from your gun. So if you're shooting at a target 100 meters away, 300 meters away, whatever the case is, like how wide the spread of bullets are before they hit your target. It's a great long distance gun for sure. Up close, it's going to struggle a little bit more because that's the design. It's really an LMG. So if you are playing as a class where you're not diving into objectives, you're standing kind of in the middle of the crowd, you're providing a lot of cover fire, going for the revives, etc., you would probably rank this gun more as an S tier over the DRS, but it comes down to the way that you're going to play the game, right? Next to that, we have the M123K, also a fabulous weapon, shoots really straight. You'll notice from just the number standpoint, it holds a higher rate of fire compared to the M250. It's more for a little bit closer range, just not as powerful as the DRS. It does have a much larger magazine, so again, if you're doing a large-scale conquest battle where you're fighting multiple people at an objective, you could even think of it as if you're playing King of the Hill, for example, where you're going to have to try to fight off multiple people diving at you without the ability to reload because you're on a flag and taking fire. The M123K, you could say, hey, it's a really good close-range weapon for that mode, for that playstyle. If you're going to be hanging off the objective and shooting at folks that are coming into the objective, then you're going to probably jump down to like the M240L because you have like a good mixture of like close range, somewhat far range, etc. Like it's a really, really good weapon depending on the playstyle. In normal conquest mode, also a really good weapon. It's great at the mid-range, right? It's got some good value for close range. You can see it's got a great damage model, pretty decent rate of fire, good magazine. It shoots fairly straight, so it's like a pretty solid weapon, kind of like, in those particular cases. Now, just a word of warning. The developers, to make the game accessible to everybody just starting, the base gun in each of the categories for assault, carbine, etc., is usually a pretty good all-rounder. It does everything pretty decent, but not amazing. So the L110, it's got, a decent damage model at 25, a decent rate of fire, a good magazine, right? The bloom or the dispersion of bullets as it comes out of the gun to shoot faraway targets, it's not terrible. Like, it's decent. You'll hit most of your shots for it. It's decent close range, decent mid-range. And so most people kind of put it in like a B category. And again, from the development standpoint, if you made the very first gun you can unlock, the best gun out of the whole category, then it would be worthless to try to unlock all the rest of the guns. So as a general rule of thumb, the first gun that the developers give you, it's a good all-rounder, it's multi-purpose, but doesn't excel at any particular one very well. And so the other ones provide a lot more situational gameplay style to suit how you're going to play the game and what mode that you're on, right? So the L110, you can't go wrong with it. It's pretty decent at all types of battles. The KTS, I want to mention, you notice on my screen I have it favorited because I'm working with a lot with it when I'm doing some battle royale stuff, because it's a great long range. It's got really good, we'll call it precision and control, like those two values you see down in the right-hand corner of the screen. Shoots really straight, good for long distance, good damage. The issue is like the rate of fire is a little bit slow, but in battle royale, I'm having to like chew through somebody's armor and take down their health, and so I need a little bit of a larger magazine, especially if I'm engaging a couple of folks. So I tend to use something like a KTS because we're engaging a little bit further out. In normal gameplay mode, unless you're kind of hanging back and trying to stay kind of in the middle or back end of your team and shoot for a little bit further distance, the KTS I don't think is super viable. You're going to lose a lot to close range weaponry, so you just have to be real careful with that. The RPK, I think the community, I would also agree, it's kind of like a B tier. You could sometimes say it's the A tier. It's got a great damage model, right? It's more like an assault rifle than it really is a pure LMG. Like, you're not going to be laying down all kinds of cover fire for it. It has a slow rate of fire. It's got a decent kickback to it when you understand how the gun performs when you're shooting it. So if you can control some of that recoil, which you can do with some of the attachments, it's a pretty solid gun. So I would say it's kind of like an all-rounder, but more of an assault style. So again, the RPK and the L110, you can kind of argue that they're all-rounders, but they serve different purposes. The RPK is like you're going to be a little bit closer into the fight, more like an assault, or the L110 is going to be kind of hanging back a little bit, trying to shoot a little bit further out. And so it depends very much on your play style. Now, I know people are going to sleep on the M60. I used it quite a bit. I still use it. It's just a fun gun. If you're just playing, the classic version of the support and you're trying to lay down lots of cover fire, just the way the gun sounds to me is just fun. It's got a great damage model, slow rate of fire, but you got a magazine of 100 bullets. I mean, you just keep firing and firing and firing. And so if you need to work on lots of enemies at, a pretty decent range away from you, before they nerfed it way back in the day, there was a great hip fire for it. I mean, you could just hip fire this thing and just chew through people left and right. So don't sleep on the M60. I think it's still a pretty solid gun. But in terms of tiers, again, I keep going back to it depends on your playstyle. It depends on the mode of the game. Are you up close and personal? Then you may want an assault style gun like the DRS, like the RPK, like the M240L. Are you hanging back and trying to shoot more for the middle? You might want to stick with the L110. The M123K, I think, is going to get you a better bang for your buck. The M250, also pretty good bang for your buck, right? So think about your play style and test out a couple of the guns. Feel free to leave comments, refutes. I think the gun, I will give you a good summary in this way. The way you use the gun, not only the gameplay style that you're choosing, the type of mode that you're in, it's also going to come down to how well you understand how the gun works in order to use it well. And so you have to kind of match the way the gun works, the way you want to play, and the way the map design, the game mode functions. And when all those three come together in the right way, you'll have a gun that's going to make you really successful. So that's kind of the big picture that I want to paint. So if you're in the new to Battlefield, I would say stick with the L110 for a while, get used to it. As you unlock attachments, you could try some different things. I definitely encourage, do assault style with the DRS, etc. Even the M123K, it's, quite a bit of fun because you have 100 bullets and then you can get right in the middle of an objective and just go to town on folks, right? So that is the LMG category, just compared in and of itself and thinking about the different game modes in there. Okay, so again, this tier list is really built around the idea of conquest. We'll have to do a different tier list if you're going to get into like a battle royale, or even if you're going to go into like team deathmatch, etc. If you're going to go down the route of like team deathmatch or squad deathmatch, I would probably say the DRS if you're going to choose an LMG. But there are other weapons and other categories that might suit a little bit better for the playstyle in those modes. So that's it for the LMGs. If you like these videos, throw down a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.